Many people believe one of the fairest parts of America is that older people don't have to worry much about running out of money thanks to Social Security and Medicare. The programs seem fair. Everyone pays into a trust fund when we're young, and when we're older, we get taken care of. But that's a lie. There is no trust fund to pay for what the politicians promised Medicare and Social Security would pay. The programs are trillions of dollars in the hole. To keep their Medicare promise to baby boomers like me, politicians would have to double or triple taxes on kids. I tried to explain that to some. Excuse me, I have to take some of these. No, I'm the old person. I need this. No, I won't give it back. You understand you have to take care of me, right? You two may not have much of a future because you got to pay for geezers like me. You better work really hard. They might as well wear a ball and chain. Now, one fair way to prevent the coming bankruptcy of Social Security, say, is to allow younger people to opt out, to get a private investment account instead. And I give President George W. Bush credit for acknowledging Social Security's unsustainability and pushing for private accounts. But as one of his press secretaries, Dana Perino, knows, he didn't succeed with that.
For President Bush, who in his second term wanted to tackle really big issues, it didn't get bigger than Social Security for him. And he designed a program that would have three principles: making sure that people who are at or near retirement weren't going to have their benefits changed. Also, that there would be a chance for younger people to have a small amount, if they wanted, put into a private account, and that also he would do this without raising the payroll tax because it had already been raised from 2 to 12%. And he went to the Republicans after the inauguration and the address, and he said, "This is what I want to do." And they said, "But it might cost us seats." And he said, "Actually, not tackling this issue could cost us seats." And they said, "Well, we'll be behind you, so far behind you that you won't be able to see us." And then it did fail.
And I give him credit. I didn't think he was the best speaker, but he went to almost every state talking about this
I remember
idea.
we did the, communications-wise, we came up with the 60 cities in 60 days type of program, and we had him out there doing multiple things a day. But the poll testing of the messaging of privatizing Social Security, they're going to take away your Social Security. Made everybody so nervous that there was really no support. Now, that said, what I like about it is that President Bush was finally the first one to really take on the third rail. He didn't just touch the third rail, he hugged it. And now that's given some room for other politicians to start talking about it, as well as Representative Paul Ryan from the House Budget Committee has done.
It is going broke. It is unsustainable. Now, you could raise the retirement age. It's much easier to fix than Medicare, which is what's really
which is such an that is so interesting that people in Washington decide to duck on this issue almost every year. The 2-year election cycle comes around very fast, and it was the Democrats who would say most of the negative and mostly, I think, untrue things about President Bush's program. But I think at the end of the day, when this is all solved, because it will have to be solved, that the program that is put in place will look a lot like the reform that President Bush originally proposed.
Well, I like the way your boss referenced his defeat in his 2006 State of the Union speech.
Congress did not act last year on my proposal to save Social Security.
Listen to that. It's like they're gloating, which I think is pretty irresponsible. I'm glad the president then went on to say this.
Yet the rising cost of entitlements is a problem that is not going away.
And it's a good thing there was more applause after that, because entitlements are a big problem. The author of the book Red and Blue and Broke All Over calls Social Security a criminal Ponzi scheme, worse than what Bernie Madoff did. The author is Charles Goyette. Worse than Madoff? Madoff got locked up for 50 years.
Well, good. We should lock some people in government up, too. That'd be a good idea. It is worse, John. You know, my kids know when they get that email about the Nigerian oil minister has millions of dollars, they know it's a fraud. But they know that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, and they can't do anything about it. They're stuck for life. Think about Social Security in terms of what would happen if a private company came up with a deal like this. The president of the company says, all right, we've got to sell some new policies tomorrow to pay you what you're due when you cash in today. I mean, they'd lock these guys up in jail.
But let's explain it, because I mean, even Mitt Romney said when Rick Perry said it's a Ponzi scheme, the term Ponzi is over the top, unnecessary, frightening to people. But it is accurate, because they said there was a trust fund, but there was no trust fund. They spent the money right away, and they're counting on the new money from the new contributors to pay for people our age.
There's no trust, there's no fun, there's no security. And, you know, the really bad thing, this is what's really destructive, it has changed the propensity of the American people to save for themselves. And you look at China, where they have a very serious demographic problem of an aging population because of their one-child policy and so on. These people save like crazy. They're among the best savers in the world. And the result of that, by the way, is that they form capital, and the country is growing more and more prosperous by the day. Whereas here in America, we don't save any money. The government's going to take care of it all by and by, and we're creating a really multi-generational calamity, and it's right at our doorstep.
So I wonder what the politicians will do about it. I mean, 25 years ago, the head of the Ways and Means Committee said he wanted seniors to pay co-pays. That would have helped them save a little bit and think about it. Seniors chased him and surrounded his car.
After a little maneuvering, Rostenkowski was finally able to drive away from the protesters. They say he'll have a harder time getting away from them come election time.
And seniors vote. So since President Bush didn't get this through, we got Paul Ryan trying, but is the public ready?
But John, you know, when I was when the boomers were born, there were 17 payees into Social Security, 17 people for each recipient. Now we're about 3 to 1, and soon it'll be 2 to 1. We've loaded kids up with debt that they will be burdened by the rest of their lives for present consumption. What kind of people, what kind of country does something like that?
And it will definitely take the a president, because even if you are the chairman of the House Budget Committee, you just can't do enough. The policy needs to be driven by a president, whether Republican or Democrat, and they're going to have to show some real leadership and spend any political capital that they have to get it done.